Friedrich Merz has come up with a cunning plan to combat the AfD, but could it be the same plan centrist politicians have been trying for the last 50 million fucking years? Meanwhile, one minister accidentally grows a conscience and is immediately punished by his fellow Christian Democrats. But still, good news as Berlin's government is forced to prepare the city for climate disaster. And is it really too soon for Christmas markets? Happy, happy, jolly, jolly, yeah!
In Berlin's heart, where news is unveiled, Megan and Conrad with German tales. The German news, it's tough to bear, but with Megacans, they're ready to repair. Conrad, daily news at hand. Megan feels to spare time to crack those cans. With each sip she takes, the Meg is her shield, but will it last the news? 'Cause that was the deal.
Hello everyone, it's time for another episode of Megan's Megacan. I'm Megan, I'm here in a somewhat upsettingly dark Berlin, but light of my life, Conrad Werner is here. Hello Conrad.
Hello.
How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Oh good.
It was a nice day today.
It was beautiful, very autumnal.
Yeah, but the sun was shining and I was sat inside a cafe and I had to take my shirt off. It got so... Not my shirt, my jumper.
Wow. I mean, it's Berlin, it's probably fine. But
And my jumper off because I got really warm. That's not a very interesting story. But just to illustrate what a nice day it was.
that's good. It was, I took the kids out today to do their little performances in the thing. I had one lesson that was going really well and I was thinking, gosh, this is very calm. It's like grade 7 after lunch. It's a bit tough. So I was like, I'm going to be very calm. It's all going very calm. And the fucking fire alarm went off. And I was like, like obviously everything's fine. But I was like, not now. Anyway.
Is there ever a situation where you're glad that the fire alarm goes off?
Yeah, like if you don't really have very much to do in the next bit, you're like, pooh, I thought this activity was going to take longer. But no, usually it's like a nightmare.
Okay.
The kids love it, obviously, and that's how you know it's bad. We're not drinking today. We have no Megacans, but we do have some alcohol-free beer.
Yes. It's in a plastic bottle, which is never a good sign.
Well, I don't know.
You never know. It's called Perlenbacher.
It is. It's the Lidl brand, isn't it?
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's extra bitter.
Nice. Oh, okay, let's try it. Oh, God, this is really weird in a plastic bottle, like a Coke or something.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, and it's got... I mean, I don't want to be like one of those anti-woke people that complains about the bottle cap being attached.
But it's one of those.
It is a little annoying.
It is a bit. It always gets in your nose. Cheers.
Cheers. That seems fine.
That's fine, yeah.
It's really not that bad.
No.
And in the Stiftung Warentest, which to non-German speakers is the Institute for Testing of Wares, products, which is a very German thing, which I now realise how German I am. When I want to buy something new, I go and look it up. It's a bit like the witch thing. You know that, like, witch ?
Yes.
Like in the UK where you can get the magazine. Like my mum has a subscription to that, like if you want to buy a new washing machine.
Okay.
But the Stiftung Warentest is like obviously more German, so it's an institution.
Yeah.
And I will look up.
It feels very official. It feels like the state probably pays for it.
Probably.
and it tests everything for you. Some civil servant tests all the things in Germany and then gives them a mark.
It's unbelievable what you can get. Alcohol-free beer, for instance, and it has got a score of 2.3. They do it the same as the school grades as well, which I think is hilarious. Like that's the average that kids will get on their school report.
Okay.
So
2.3. What's that? It's a solid B-.
It's a solid B-.
Yeah. You can't.
I think it's a solid B because it's in the middle of it, isn't it?
Okay.
I don't know. Yeah.
Right. Okay. I thought C was the middle.
That's really quite nice. I drink quite a lot of non-alcoholic beer.
Do you?
And it's not got the... To be fair, I have just eaten as you've watched me.
Yeah.
Because I didn't plan my meals very well today. Half an XXL bag of the peanuts in their...
The
crunchy jackets.
The crunchy jackets. What? What? We don't have that.
Like Thai would be like dough, but we would say crunchy.
Crispy dough. We don't have these crunchy wheat jackets around peanuts in.
We do now.
in
The
the
Sahara nuts, basically. You know, you see
okay.
them in bars.
And they tasted like barbecue. Yeah.
So my taste buds.
Well, it's probably this Perlenbacher is exactly what you need at this moment.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
What's been happening in the news? I have to say, I have had a lovely October break. If, once again, just to do a plug for teaching in Germany, you get a 2-week break in the autumn term, which is fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
And I feel very relaxed and gut gelaunt.
Okay, well,
Good,
let me...
good mooded. No,
me
I'm going to
pop
try and
that
be
bubble.
positive because I really do think we need to, not in a toxic way, but like, I'm going to try and be more positive, I think.
Okay, well,
Let's see what we can do.
Let's see how
'Cause my
positive we
God.
can be. I will try also to be positive. So perhaps on maybe, is it positive that a CDU foreign minister went to Syria and was appalled at the humanitarian situation there and said maybe it's not a good idea to deport loads of people to Syria? Is that positive?
That is a good thing. But
Yeah.
however, his own party did not go.
No.
So this is about.
It wasn't good news
What's
for
his
his own
name?
party.
Vadeful? What's his first name? Christian?
No.
Robert?
Johann.
Johann. There we go.
Yeah. Johann Wadefuhl, he went to Damascus and expressed doubt that many Syrians would choose to return given the devastation and ongoing instability in the country, and said apparently he went back to Germany, went to a cabinet meeting. I think it was a CDU meeting actually, and he kind of explained his position and said like, look, it's possibly not such a good idea, and it got quite heated apparently because the other CDU ministers were not happy with the way that he was effectively going against the CDU party line as expressed by Chancellor Friedrich Merz, who is desperate to send as many people back to Syria as possible. I mean, Syrians especially,
But he's not drawing. He's not ruling anything out, lads. So
No,
just
he's not.
keep be
Anyone.
on your guard.
Yeah, so that it caused a bit of a problem, and apparently towards the end of the meeting, Wadefuhl said that the conditions in Syria are worse than Germany in 1945, and this remark, which he didn't do publicly, but in this meeting, and it kind of came out, this remark was especially offensive to the right-wing people in Germany, especially the AfD made a big thing of it because the CDU made a big thing of it because if there's one thing we know about Germany is you can never compare anything to anything that happened in Germany during the Nazi period. That's like a rule. And yeah, so that kind of came out.
Yes, another one of our effective applications of memory culture, where we just do it in the most unnuanced possible way. I think that is probably fine. Like, it was bombed to shit and it was in a terrible condition. You can say it was like 1945. You're not saying that it's anybody's fault. You're just literally making a comparison to help people to understand, your colleagues, what it looks like.
Anyway, as I said, Friedrich Merz also spoke this week, and he said there are now no longer any grounds for asylum in Germany, and therefore we can also begin with repatriations. Those who refuse to return could face deportation in the near future. He said this is about Syrian people.
Christ.
The problem is, it's like, where do you start? Like, what does he actually mean? Is as always, the devil is in the details. So I actually did a little bit of research about this.
Yeah.
To see, because what they often say is that, we can send criminals back, or we can send people with a Duldung back first. And Duldung is this sort of tolerated status, is when you don't have a right to asylum, but you can't be sent back for a number of reasons, like health reasons, or they don't know where you're from, or for some other reason.
Yeah.
There's kind of like a limbo state. And you have to
Purgatory,
reapply.
and it must be fucking awful.
Yeah, and you have to kind of reapply every year to get it. And apparently there are of the over 900,000 Syrians in Germany, there are about 9,000 have this tolerated status, who you could possibly at some point legally, from a legal point of view, think about deporting. But obviously, you can't, practically speaking, for any number of reasons, Yeah, so that's one thing. Also, there's about 9,000 doctors from Syria working in Germany now.
Sure, start with them. That seems reasonable.
Yeah,
quite a lot. And Germany, as we know, is very short of doctors. So
Short of lots of things. Lots of skilled workers to keep us all alive.
and also, Germany doesn't have an agreement with the new Syrian government yet. That's another problem. So if in order to deport people, you have to make some kind of negotiation, because you can't just put people on the plane and send them back, because the other country, just on a practical level, has to say, yes, we'll accept these planes and do something with these people, you know. And Germany does not have any kind of agreement like that with the new Syrian government. As you know, the new Syrian government is run by this former rebel commander, and
it's a shaky enough situation. I wouldn't say it's like a long-established sort of administrative, legislative and political system currently.
Alexander Dobrindt, the interior minister, says they are working on such an agreement. And he also said that we will initially deport criminals and later people without residence permits. That would be people with this tolerated status. At the same time, Gonzalo Vargas Llosa, director of the United Nations Refugee Agency in Syria, told the Süddeutsche Zeitung newspaper a couple of weeks ago, we are dealing with one of the biggest refugee crises in the world there. Syria is at its limit, he said. Its capacity to take in refugees has already been exhausted. This is because, I mean, I don't need to go over what's happened in Syria in the last 15 years, but effectively about 7 million people remain internally displaced in the country, according to the German Ministry for Economic Cooperation and Development. And on top of this, about 1 million war refugees have already returned to the country from Lebanon, Jordan and Turkey, mainly in the last 9 months or so. And and so there's a lot of refugees already there, and a lot of the infrastructure remains destroyed. Also, there's security issues because there are a lot of small arms in circulation in the country, which is one of the things that happens when you have a civil war. A lot of people have guns. So I actually spoke to Tarek Alofs, who is the spokesperson for the refugee rights organization Pro Azul. He's also a Syrian refugee. He came here in 2015, and he was telling me that he went back because you can go back for a couple of weeks to see the situation if you want to go. Like Turkey, for example, runs a scheme where you can go and look and see and check out your house and see if it's still standing, see if it's worth going back.
Sad.
So this guy Tarek Alofs also went back from Germany for a couple of weeks at the beginning of this year. And he was saying that like rents are unaffordable because there's so little room. He said he saw 4 or 5 families living in 4 or 5 room apartments inside Damascus. Yeah, and that is exactly what Johann Wadefuhl also saw.
This was what I was going to say. We don't need, for people who are going to distrust these immigrants who are just here to take our stuff, even Johann Wadefuhl, famously not the most understanding of, I don't know. I don't really know who he is. I don't like him. I neither know him particularly, but anything I've heard from him has not exactly been like, oh, yes, I agree with you. He goes and is immediately in a couple of days able to go, oh, fuck no, this is undoable.
Yeah.
And instead he comes back and gets from Merz, and that twat Spahn was having a go at him as well. But you very rightly said the devil is in the detail, and then when you look at it pragmatically, logistically, none of this can happen. My point is,
and why would you even want it to happen? And also, just on a moral level, it's despicable.
Sorry, we're obviously stepping over that because we assume that is fucking doesn't need to be said. But the whole point, though, I think, is with people with Spahn, with Merz, they don't care about the detail, because what they want, they know that it's going to play out whatever way it's going to play out. They don't really care. They can't really do it. They want to just appeal. They want to be able to make these populist sound bites and say that they are tough on immigration, and they're going to send the Syrians back. And they know that Syrian is a buzzword because Syrian is connected with 2015, the opening of the borders, like everyone's saying, Angela Merkel, all of this. That's what broke Germany. So they don't give a shit.
No.
But the problem is that the way I see it, and you can tell me if I'm right on this or not in a minute, but like, that's not going to win over AFD voters, I don't think. No. What it does is go, oh, I wasn't really thinking of voting the AFD, but, you know, to be honest, I think they're saying the same things as the CDU and Friedrich Merz and everybody. And Jens Spahn, look, he's a young sense. But the AfD will just get it done quicker. And then the issue of whether this is ethically, pragmatically, logistically, or legally possible doesn't matter anymore, because you have people who are not going to that don't think that people that come from other places have rights. And if you can't get Syria to take them back, then we'll fucking put them somewhere else. And we'll corral them, we'll ghettoize them, and
put them in maybe a concentration camp.
Yeah, get those open again. Just stop all the tourists.
I don't even know what people want anymore. And I'm kind of tired of talking about it, the migration in general, because I don't think, because what even are we really talking about in real life? It's just all bullshit, I think, the whole debate. Because,
no one is really...
Because people are here, and people will always move around, and people will always, it's just part of life. I mean, it's just part of life. I don't know. I feel very...
Also, we need the fucking doctors.
Yeah.
And the food.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I cannot have a Neukölln with... to be completely selfish. The way food was when I first moved to Berlin in 2008.
I know.
It's unacceptable.
If any country needs immigrants, it's Germany.
It so is. We need skilled workers, we need food, and we need people that are friendly and smile at you when you walk into shops. I don't know how to explain this.
It's hard.
You know how to exist in society and be jolly. I just can't.
Yeah.
Anyway, but maybe Friedrich Merz and Jens Spahn are playing a cool game because they know people want to be... They're being populist to win votes. Is it going to work?
That's the
Does being a bit more Nazi help people who are not actually Nazis?
So there has been a study on this. It just came out from the Berlin Social Science Center, WZB. It was published in the European Journal of Political Research. And
you've done a lot. Sorry, just to break the fourth wall here. Has he not done a lot of research?
No, I had to do this anyway for work. I mean,
no, just take the praise. It's very good.
Okay.
And you have the facts to hand. You've only had to look. You've only got lost in your notes once.
Yeah.
Good work.
So eventually, this study was called Far Right Agenda Setting: How the Far Right Influences the Political Mainstream. And effectively, they studied over 500,000 articles from 6 German newspapers over 20-something years, I think 26 years, since the 1990s. And they kind of mapped out, using all this data, to what extent far-right talking points have become more and more adopted by mainstream media and mainstream political parties, especially the particles of the centre-left and centre-right.
Yeah.
As you can imagine, what they came up with was that, was that it's becoming the far-right is basically pushing the political debate in Germany and elsewhere in Europe. And the big question then is, does it work? Does it actually help centrist parties to sound more far right? Does it get them the actual voters? Because obviously Friedrich Merz keeps banging on about this, and we have to assume he thinks he knows what he's doing when he does bang on about this, when he says
I think he
things
always thinks he knows what he's doing. It's a fucking lack of self-doubt in that man that is...
I mean, he said the thing about we talked about last time was ask your daughters I
was on holiday during that. He can go fuck himself.
And he talks about the cityscape debate, the Stadtbild thing, and obviously he's saying these things for a reason. I mean, I think partly it is also his personality. I think he likes saying these things. I think he thinks it works.
I think he's also probably racist. I don't mean that.
He's probably being sincerely racist.
He just doesn't understand.
Yeah, but anyway. So that, and also other political parties around Europe did it, and also Olaf Scholz did it. You might remember in 2023 he was on the cover of The Spiegel when he said we must finally deport on a large scale. Chancellor Scholz, do you remember that?
It's a very socially democratic thing, isn't it? Yeah.
Pretty much the same thing.
Send them back.
Pretty much the same thing as Friedrich Merz is doing. But the polls would suggest that it doesn't work. I mean, you would have to say, since Friedrich Merz became leader of the CDU, the AfD has got has got twice as strong as it
Yeah.
was before.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to say whether that's a correlation or a causal thing. You can't say,
Yeah.
but there's certainly. So I talked to various academics, including Uwe Jun, political scientist at the University of Trier. I talked to. This is good. There was a study in 2022 by the academics Werner Krause, Dennis Cohen, and Tariq Abu Chadi, who asked this specific question: like, does it reduce far-right support if you adopt their positions? And they concluded, and I quote, "If anything, our results suggest that they lead to more voters defecting to the radical right. This effect is particularly pronounced when the radical right parties are already well established. So if they're just small little far right parties, maybe not as much. But when they're big far right parties, as we have now in pretty much every European country, we have now in the UK, we have Reform, and in Germany, AfD, and in France, that French one. I keep forgetting what they're called. They keep changing their name. But anyway,
It's not the Front National anymore, is it?
No.
It's something. But we know who you are.
Yeah, so there's evidence suggesting that accommodating the radical right, it definitely does not help the mainstream parties. But one thing we know it does, this is according to Diane Bollet, she's assistant professor of political behaviour at the University of Essex in the UK.
Hello, Diane.
But one thing we do know, it does raise the issue of immigration, and that would tend to benefit the party that dominates that issue. If you see what I mean. So if you make immigration the big thing, then whichever party dominates that issue, which is always the far right party, then they will benefit from that. Yeah. So that's pretty much what I wanted to say about that. It's probably
so stupid. Like, we have so many other things to discuss, and it's just we get all caught up in immigration, which is not really having any effect this way or the other on Germany.
No.
Unless you're racist and you don't like seeing people who don't look like Friedrich Merz in your streets, in which case, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah. And what really annoys me is this word integration. It really annoys me.
Yeah.
Especially when you hear it from English speakers in Berlin.
Yeah.
You get all these English speakers who come up to you and they go, but it'd be better if they're well integrated. It's, you're fucking speaking English.
Sorry,
to
English
me.
speakers say that to you. I'll be like, right, fucking and I'm not you need to learn German unless you're an English speaker in this country. And then I'm like, you probably can. Decline this, go.
I mean, what does integration even mean? It doesn't mean anything in real life. It's just an abstract idea that, I just really bothers me.
And it's also like a society's job to integrate, but integration, it's a dog whistle. We can't talk about integration and it's a whole interesting topic that I feel quite passionate about, but that's about giving people opportunities to feel like they have a stake in a society. It's part of the reason that I want to get my German citizenship and why I think it's really cool to be able to speak German.
Yeah.
Because I can have a laugh with people and I feel like part of a community here to an extent. But people use the word integration to mean, well, I don't know, take literally at face value, Friedrich Merz sees it as, well, you don't look right.
Yeah.
And I'm sure some people use it like that. And then other people are like, oh, well, you don't sound right and you speak Kiezdeutsch or you do this. And it's just all of this othering and nonsense. I'm like, I don't know,
Then when can we move on in society from talking about people from coming from one place and going and living in another place? It's just we're obsessed with it as a society. We can't stop talking about people moving and
Well, it's because I think also things are quite bad for a lot of people. And at the very, very bottom of things, if your identity is all that you have, you will really fight to kind of maintain that. And the easiest way to define yourself is often what you're not. Well, I'm not foreign or whatever. But then everyone else just piles on and it's just easier, isn't it? It's easier to just be like, oh, but we want to deport people because, we want to have no more regular migration, rather than to be like, well, what would that actually mean? And what other questions could we ask of our society? Why I can't get a decent job or I can't afford a house? But oh my God, we've been having these conversations for fucking hundreds of years. I cannot what we're gonna do? We're gonna have just a horrible, horrible war, across Europe where we're just awful.
Yeah. And then
And
we're
we
going to have to...
tear each other apart, and then we have to do it all over again, and we have to redo the fucking EU that we've torn apart. And we're like, oh, that was probably not a bad idea.
Yeah. Yeah, where
But we're
is it
not
all?
there yet. Like,
We are not there yet.
We still, they haven't won. Yeah, I was even thinking this, like, yeah, the fascists are currently in power in the US, but they haven't won, like, yet, because there's still democratic things happening. We will see in 2026.
Oh, yeah. Well, the Democrats had a good night last night in America. When
They did. I was going to keep that for our good news section.
Okay, sorry. I thought you were.
Well, I could
Doing
segue
a
into that.
segue
No, we
now.
can do that because I also have other good news, so it's fine.
Okay.
And I think...
Well, can I do my good news first?
Oh, yes.
Because you might remember during the live show, or as we established,
We were
you
saying,
didn't remember.
I don't really remember the details. There was a part where I was very much going, okay, conscious of time, we need to sing, and I'm like, wrap this up, so I wasn't really...
Okay, so we're talking about the Baumentscheid.
Yes.
Ring any bells so far?
Yeah, the name does, because I liked it. Baumentscheid.
So it's effectively a referendum on trees. We were talking a little bit about Hamburg because they had the Zukunftsentscheid.
Yeah.
That was the thing about the future. And so they forced a referendum where the people of Hamburg decided that the city would have to bring forward its climate goals by a few years.
Mm-hmm.
And it went against basically all the political parties. But and in Berlin it was slightly different with the Baumentscheid. So they drew up a law. All these like clever I'll start at the beginning. First of all, they collected the necessary signatures to start a referendum process, which was only 33,000, and then they drew up a law, essentially a climate adaptation law for the whole of the city, which included, for example, planting 1 million street trees in Berlin by 2040, putting in 1,000 mini parks and 100 new green spaces, especially in heat-prone neighborhoods. When the idea is to kind of, adapt the city for what is going to be like a terrifying climate in the future. And they said, we've drawn up this law. We've got all these clever experts in. We've costed it. We've made sure it's affordable. And and they went to the CDU and SPD, which is the current government in Berlin. And they said, this is our law, and if you don't adopt this law, we will force this referendum that we were going to force anyway. And the upshot of it was that the governing parties agreed with the law and brought it in, and so now it's all happening a year earlier than it would have done if it had gone to a referendum.
Amazing.
Because the referendum would have taken another year to go through. So now this... God,
that's clever, isn't it? That's such a clever way to do something.
Yeah, and it's sort of, it's
friendly
through
threat.
dialogue, yeah. It's through dialogue as well.
Yeah.
It's like you're trying to include the people who are in power. And
We're
not
coming
just,
to you in good faith.
Yeah. And so this includes like an obligation to care for sick trees, and also fund innovative projects to help, community-led planting. It's very kind of like planting more plants around the city. So it'll be nice.
This is lovely.
The trees plus, and it was passed this week. It was passed 2 days ago. Through the Berlin House of Representatives.
Good for them.
Called.
Well,
So
they
there's your
didn't
little
really
bit
do
of
anything,
good
but
news.
that's good. That is good news.
Yeah, and it's supposed to be really... trees have, as we know, they do actually help to cool the climate, especially on hot days in important parts of the city. So now we're going to have 1 million more of them in the city.
That's great. Because I do think, I obviously love Berlin with my whole heart. And in comparison maybe with other cities, it is really green and has all of these, maybe depending where you are, but like a lot of parks and
yeah,
everything. I'll stop now because I'll just go on I've sort of become a Tempelhofer Feld, not a convert, like I wasn't anti it,
right,
but I now, living very close to it, I've been radicalized on the subject. I'm a fucking zealot. It's magical, and we cannot touch a single square meter of it. But anyway,
Well, it's nice as well because they have all those allotments there, and they have these little.
It's so fucking good, and you can't take away any part of it because the whole point is its size. And if something ain't broke, don't bloody build on it.
Build a luxury flats on it.
Good God, don't build anything on it. Build them somewhere else. Okay, that's good. We also mentioned, moving into our good news section,
Yeah.
big win for the progressive left in New York.
Yeah. It's not our normal wheelhouse, but
No, but we'll take our
we'll
good
take-
news where we can.
Yes.
And I also think everything is becoming so globalized. Like, it's been all over my TikTok.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
obviously my
apparently-
algorithm is...
Well, this Mamdani, apparently that was his secret weapon. Was
He's
TikTok.
really good.
He was like a
Yeah.
really good, and he used the TikTok formats. You know, like when people go up to people on the street and say, "What do you think about this?" They kind of like, what do you call it? Like vox pops, we used to call it.
Yeah.
And that's like a established TikTok format, and
Yeah.
you know, and it was really effective. So you know,
He also did like a pub crawl at the weekend. And like, I think Halloween is obviously like, it was Halloween, so it's a big party night. And there's just like a lot of clips.
yeah.
And they were doing that Alicia Keys, is it Jay-Z track for like New York? And everyone is just like screaming in the club with this guy in the suit beside the DJ. And I'm like, that is a very, very good visual if you are trying to like appeal to a young demographic.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of interesting, you know, because which social media platform is now decides elections? Because I think with especially the age of Trump and the 2016, it was all Twitter. Like that is basically why Trump won 2016 was because of Twitter. And now you've got to be good on TikTok, I think.
If you want to get young people, absolutely, I would
Yeah.
say. It is interesting because Instagram now seems to be like, and Wael was saying this when he was on, like the organization, like if you're organizing anything, you're on Instagram. Like that's where you're getting where things are happening, where the protests are, all of that information.
Yeah.
But then TikTok for promoting it. And then you've got the wildfire. And the problem is like none of these things are connecting. So like you've just got all the boomers on Fox News and Facebook. And
Yeah.
that's wild.
Well, yeah. I mean, do you think this could happen in Germany? Do you think have we got good TikTokers in?
Ferrat's not bad. I think that's part of the reason maybe that
Ferrat who? Who's this? Ferrat Kulat.
Yeah.
In the Nikon
Yeah.
Linke
Yeah.
MP, yeah. And we also Heidi Reicheneck, also the Linke. I think she does a lot of TikToking, doesn't she? I don't know.
Yes. I think she is quite...
Or at least someone does it for her.
She's a German left winger, so she's very... she's a bit long-winded with a few too many big words, but she is very good. But yeah, like there was a lot of like young, funny, German political content on there. Like there's a lot of like people of color taking the piss out of Friedrich Merz, saying like the Stadtbild. They're like, oh, where are you going? He's like, oh, I'm just going to go and destroy the Stadtbild here. Or like, hey, you got to go home. You're like messing up the Stadtbild. I'm like, oh. And then also a lot of people talking very passionately about like how that made them feel, how awful it was, you know, to
Yeah.
be told in your own you know, or a country that you are calling home for however long.
Yeah.
You don't belong there. But yeah, I think it's something that people are realizing. Die Linke, I think, is probably capitalizing on that more than others. I think the AfD probably as well. I don't want to...
Well, there's a lot of awful... Have you noticed that AI content is now all far right? Anything that's AI, you immediately know it's going to be racist.
Yeah, because AI is terrible.
Yeah, but
Like,
it's
there's
become
nothing-
the aesthetic of the far right, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
It is awful.
Yeah. But yeah. Also, for those who are, you know, I think, yes, it's the beginning of November, but also we do what we can in these trying times to get us through. And so I'm opening Megan's Festive Tips Corner, and you can just come at me if you think it's too early. Some of the markets are open already, everyone.
Yes. Do you know which ones?
You actually sent me the thing, didn't you? Being like,
There's one in Lichtenberg.
yeah, that is like a fair, like a
Right.
fun fair. So absolutely, but just like
does that count as a Christmas? I suppose it is.
I think it is Christmas market plus fun fair.
Okay.
The one Is the one at Potsdamer Platz? It's quite depressing. It's probably open now.
Yeah, I'll just check that. The one with that's with the donut slide thing.
Yes, which is really fun to do. I think I mentioned this on the podcast before.
We've talked about the donut slide. Yeah.
Yeah.
So they are starting to open, and they just kind of segged from Halloween straight into Christmas now, haven't we?
And Halloween
November,
is kind of a thing in Germany now, which I also think is fine. I think it's nice. What's not to
I
like?
can confirm that Winterwelt, as it's called, Winter World at Potsdamer Platz is indeed open. And has been
Go
since
and have
the
a
1st
go
of
on the
November.
little donutty slide thing before it gets too busy. I think also the Christmas Avenue is at Nollendorfplatz and is the kind of LGBTQIA Christmas market, and it's exactly as fun as you would imagine that to be.
Yeah.
And I think it's at the weekends, but it's starting in November they're not quite calling it Christmas Avenue yet. They're calling it something else. I'm not really sure what they're up to, but if you want to go and stroll around Nollendorfplatz, when I was there, it was great a few years ago. A lot of really kind of metallic neon-y decorations and like any kind of gift that you wanted to buy in the shape of sexual organs was available. Like soaps, candles, bags, you name it.
That's good.
It was lovely.
So get your Christmas presents for your granny there.
Yeah, and we will keep you up to date with.
Maybe we should.
Even for me, the 5th of November is a bit early, but you've got. It's nice to start thinking about it now, so you can plan what you want to do, so that you don't get to like the 17th of December and you're like, oh fuck, I didn't see anything, and I wish I'd gone to a market.
Yeah.
If you don't like them, that's also fine. You can just skip this section. It's good
Maybe
to
we
sometimes give our listeners, I think. This is about breaking the echo chamber bubble.
Yeah.
That's about as controversial.
I mean, there'll probably be something will happen at a Christmas market that, the AFD doesn't like, and then that'll be politics too, and then you can say something. I mean, there was always some political thing going on. Like they, for example, at the Potsdamer Platz, they've decided to call it Winterwelt.
Oh, cancelling of Christmas. The woke cancellation of Christmas.
Yeah, so they'll probably say something about that. So
yeah, Well, I was saying, obviously in the UK, but some news story about like one of the reform-controlled councils are now not going to be able to put up Christmas lights because there's England flags all over like the posts and stuff that they would be attaching it to.
Oh, they'd have to take down the England flags. Oh dear.
They've cancelled Christmas.
They can't, yeah,
anyway, that did.
They're being taken over by the Muslims, probably. Good.
Anyway, I still feel quite jolly. I enjoyed that little beer in a plastic bottle.
Yeah, that was very nice. All right, well, maybe next time we'll do a Christmas market roundup or something.
Maybe not next time. I feel like that. Mind you, if it's in 2 weeks, I'm going to be full fucking swing. So let's go.
Yeah. Great.
Take care, everyone.
Have a great November.
Yeah, enjoy it. As much as you can.
As much as you can.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Megacan, German news in English with a cocktail can. The German news, it's quite a test. With Megan's Mega, you're feeling refreshed. Ooh. Megan's Megacan, German news in English with a cocktail can. Deutsche Nachrichten sind düster und schwer.
Defy the fear.
Yeah.
It's actually it's quite a positive message to give to people.
So.
I like to think that we have quite a positive impact on our listeners.
I hope so.
Because we try and get them to defy the fear of listening to the news all day.
I mean, it's better than reading a German newspaper. Surely.
I would definitely recommend listening to our podcast more than reading any German newspaper.
German newspapers barely have pictures.
No.
Like fucking, it's just a brick of text.
Oh yeah,
basically.
Yeah, and they seem to
awful.
make a virtue of it. They think it's like so great to have no
Oh, not like you Americans
pictures.
with your fucking
colour pictures.
decadent pictures in
I
your
know.
newspapers.
Yeah,
What's
like-
that? A crossword puzzle? Oh, no
You have
wonder
to-
you had Trump. Jesus Christ, everyone! Like, there's a middle ground.
You have to concentrate on the news. It's very important. And you have to like keep this
Just have a mega.
Have a mega. Give us a picture every now and then.
Just a
and-
wee picture, maybe of,
Yeah.
a diagram.